Welcome to the Degloirespace, where we identify that glory is our birthplace and we choose to live our lives with absolute grace. How to listen to yourself. What does it mean to do that? And in particular, about those things you have when you're asleep. What? Dreams. So before we jump into dreams, let's see why we need to listen to our dreams. Too often these days, you'll hear the people saying that we should prioritize ourselves. You hear people saying, I'm going to put myself first. There's nothing wrong with that. The only problem is you don't know how to. You think you do, but you don't. And I'll give you a few reasons why you don't know how to. You see, firstly, what does it mean to listen to yourself? Is the noise in your head yourself? For example, if you live in a particular society, they'll tell you that to be successful, you need to do 1, 2, 3. And so you develop that idea about yourself. You think, for me to be successful, I need to do these things, or I need to be these things. So a lot of what you're calling yourself, and when you want to prioritize yourself, they're stemming from an insecurity. So what's going to happen is you're going to start acting, but the stem of this acting, or that acting, is going to be insecurity. Now, it doesn't matter how you act. If the insecurity is where you're going to start off with, eventually you're going to meet with that insecurity again, and then you're back to ground zero. You're back to where you started. So we need to know the difference between listening to ourselves and listening to the voices that we have taken in from other people, from other places, from influences that have influenced, along in our lives, whether it's media, whether it's standards, whatever it be. Because those things, they change over time. So what you might think is you, give it 5 years and those things won't be you. Maybe give it a few months, depending on what it is and depending on your age. However, there are core components to you. You might like to draw. And as you're growing up, everyone tells you drawing is a waste of time. Like, what are you going to get out of it? The amount of people who succeed with drawing is less than 1%. So you give up on that. But just because you gave up on it, it doesn't mean it's not part of you, especially if it's a deep passion in you. So this is where dreams come in. You see, dreaming is a mechanism that's in you to try to keep you being authentic. Now, where do dreams come from? Everything you see, your brain takes in. And your brain doesn't take things in logically. Because logic is also based on what you know, where you're from, and your age and all that. So logic is not the way that your brains work. And that's why when we have dreams, they're not always logical, because your dream deals with images. And all the time you're walking, you're calculating, your brain is taking things in. Now when you come to sleep, it starts to bring these up to the surface. Now, the more you are honest with yourself, the more that you have dived into this, the more your dreams start showing you images that are more relatable. In the start, when you first start, your dreams might seem a little bit like hard to decipher. What is it trying to tell me? And that's something else. As you start looking into your dreams, you're going to have to learn the language of symbolism. Because as I said to you, just because something makes sense to us when we're awake doesn't mean it makes sense to our brain. Now, so what happens is things are happening in your day. You're collecting information from here, from there. Your brain is collecting it. You sense something inside you, but you don't want to speak out. You actually contain that within you, and so on. So what happens there is that your brain is collecting all this information and it's going to try to release it to you. Some of it is painful things, And these painful things might require a gentle way for your brain to first bring it out to you. Now, if you keep ignoring it, eventually the brain's going to have to speak up a little bit louder, especially if it's an urgent thing. And you might see a very, very scary dream, or a dream that unsettles you. Sometimes a nightmare. And those is like your brain is calling. There's an urgent thing inside you and it needs attention right now. A friend of mine called me a few weeks back and mentioned that they saw a dream. In the dream, she was walking, and as she was walking, there were people that she knew. They came and they were greeting her. Suddenly, out of nowhere, an old woman appeared. Now, that sudden appearance kind of startled her, and she didn't know what to do. And she didn't even know why she was feeling the way she's feeling. But she knew one thing: it wasn't normal. And the old woman looked at her and seemed like she wanted to say something, but my friend ignored it and kept walking. The dream goes on, and my friend approaches a school. As she's approaching a school, she sees kids playing. Suddenly, from behind the kids, they move away, and there's that old woman again. The old woman gets up, walks towards her. This time she's kind of like paused a little bit, and she's thinking, where did this old woman pop up again from? I saw her a while ago. How come she's back here? The old woman comes up to her and says, I want to tell you something. Of course, at that moment, she felt frightened again and she walked off. She didn't want to totally ignore the woman, but she was looking at her like, who are you? And how do you know me? What do you want to say to me? And she kept walking. The old woman tried to follow her for a bit, but she walked extra fast and lost the old woman, woke up at that point. My friend, startled by the dream, knew that this dream is trying to tell her something, but what? So she called me and mentioned this dream to me. And she said, it really disturbed me. Can you give me any ideas, any hints, any tips, anything? We had a chat, and the reason I before a dream, you should kind of like see what's in the dream and then see what those things mean to you. After that dream, the key was found. I said to my friend, do you feel like the topic of aging is on your mind? Because this dream is trying to tell you about aging and you feel afraid of that topic. My friend was startled and she was like, yeah, I've been thinking about this. Now, there are certain dreams that people have that, because we're all human, we're going to have some commonalities, certain dreams. We all share similar fears and themes in particular. Now, this, if you follow your dreams or listen to them, they will tell you what is actually going on in your mind. Forget all the noise that you hear outside. Forget all of that stuff. Your mind tells you, hey, this is what is going on in your mind. This is what you're feeling. Now, when it does that, the mind or the brain, the dream is trying to tell you, please, can you give this some attention? Because we need to solve this issue. If you don't, we're not going to be functioning too well. So when you have a dream, and then first thing you do is try to find out a bit more about the symbolism. If you don't know, ask somebody, read something. You can even email me. But whatever you do, do something about it. Show your mind, show yourself that you are invested in yourself. Don't be like, oh, I just had a dream because I ate too much. Or I don't know why I had this dream. I watched a movie. Sure, those things might start a dream, but those things Okay, why does your dream pick? Let's just say you did eat too much. Why do you see the images that you see? If you and I both ate too much and we both fell asleep and we both had dreams, why is it your images are different to mine? It's because those images relate to you. Those images relate to me. So don't treat your dreams like they're just, oh, I don't care. Don't be obsessed with them like, oh, everything's about my dreams either, but give them attention. Listen to them. The dream will give you topics that you're going through. Now, let me tell you a superpower that might come out of this. The more you listen to your dream, the more you give it attention, that part of your attention, you'll be surprised at what your mind is picking up. You might, and that's where you hear people, they have prophetic dreams. And sometimes, I'm sure some of you watching this might have had some prophetic dreams, things that your brain predicted, things that your brain saw into or your mind saw into. Because, guys, a lot of times you belittle yourself. I'm telling you, you belittle yourself. And it's understandable why we do that, because everything around us is kind of telling us we're not important. It's, who are you? Like what are you? And because of those constant belittling of yourself, you even start belittling yourself. You're like, no, it's not, I can't possibly be sensing something like this. But let's just take a little bit of a zoom out. If you look at yourself, what are you made up of? These atoms, when you go to the doctor and they say, oh, you're low on iron, you're low on whatever element, magnesium. Guys, people, where is iron made? It's not made on Earth, you know that? It's made in a galaxy or whatever, far, far away, as Star Wars says. Though I'm not a big fan. But imagine you are made up of these atoms. You are made up of things that were made in places light years away. So you have the constituents of the universe within you. It's not a big deal if you were to have prophetic dreams. You're made up of things that are beyond this earth. So why wouldn't you be carrying those things in you? Just a thought. Exercise that thought. Treat yourself with a little bit more, not seriousness in the like, oh, I'm serious now. No, but seriousness in that you need to give yourself attention. You need to listen to yourself, and not listening to yourself just through the lenses and the filters of society, but to listen to yourself. Hey, who am I really? And your dreams is a window into that. The more you give it attention, the more it'll respond back to you and give you much more than that. So, in short, I'm going to make a few of these ones about dreams, because I do believe that dreams hold a big window into our mindset, and an honest one. That is the important part. It's an honest one. It's got no filters. Maybe in the start, it'll give you like puzzles to solve to understand what is this dream trying to tell me. But the more you get the knack of your dreams, the knack of your symbolism, the more you develop that attention to them. I'll tell you something. No one can tell you 100% what your dreams mean. They can give you the theme. They can give you ideas. They can give you hints. But in the end of the day, you need to be involved in your own learning, in your own connection. Because, you could tell me a dream and I can tell you 1, 2, 3 about your dream. This is the theme. This is this. But in the end of the day, you got to remember, I didn't see your dream the way you saw it. I didn't feel the exact things you felt. Like when you see characters in your life, like, you might say to me, my mom, I saw my mom in my dream. When I'm going to interpret it, I'm going to use what I understand of motherhood. But for you, it could be slightly different. So when you do ask people, if you do ask somebody about your dreams, just remember that you still need to do some work. So, okay, I might have helped you. I might help you and give you some keys, some hints. But you look into it. You develop that a bit more. And then watch what happens when you develop a genuine relationship with your dreams. They will talk to you, they will tell you insights, they will give you insights that no one else can. It's like you properly communicating to you, listening to you. And if you found what is in this video helpful and insightful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you've had a dream recently, you chatted to somebody about, or somebody chatted to you about a dream, you could forward this video to them and just say, hey, give this a go. What do you think? Thank you for your time.